Hey, it's Doug from the Rise Above Gym channel. And does the top of your shoulder kind of kill you when you try to do anything athletic overhead? Well, you might have biceps tendonitis. But don't worry, I have some exercises to help get rid of it and also prevent it in the future. Let's check it out. Biceps tendonitis is just an inflammation of the biceps tendon. It can be proximal at the shoulder where it wraps around the top, or it can be distal down at the elbow. I found that in my training, most people have it up here and it causes problems with overhead stuff or pull-ups or shoulder raises, things like that. Now, there's several ways that this can occur. It can occur from an acute injury. So let's say I fall or I throw or do something really ballistic. It can cause some issues there. More commonly, it's caused by an overuse issue. Now, whether you're doing something repeatedly, let's say like swimming or throwing, spiking a volleyball, name it, and your body is not used to all that volume, it can cause a tendinitis. So we think of tendinitis too, like elbow tendinitis or wrist tendinitis from like mousing too much. It's kind of the same thing, and we have to build up that endurance. Another way it's caused is by posture. Probably both combined, whether we're using overuse and we have a forward posture where these tendons are not able to get into a more relaxed or stretched position, that will cause issues as well. Or if we have posture that's forward and we try to do things overhead and that tendon is not allowing that to happen, it will get angry and inflame. Lastly, I also think people just don't do remedial exercises, especially when we're younger. We just want to bench press or chest press or do a ton of pull-ups, push-ups. We're not doing the remedial things unless we are injured. So remember that injury prevention or PT exercises are not just for PT, they're for preventative reasons and can be sprinkled in throughout the workout. So today I'm going to show you a bunch of exercises that you can do to sprinkle in within your workout or do them before as a warm-up. They're going to consist of band and very low-level strength exercises and then a few stretches. So let's check them out. If you see my other videos, you know I'm a big fan of band work and I have a bunch of different bands up here. I like these with the handles and the attachment loop a lot so they're very versatile and they can be taken with you if you go on vacation. So again, I want to talk about doing band work as a preventative strategy and also a rehabilitation strategy that you can sprinkle in through your workout. You can do them before, you can do them during. So sometimes I'll do like some squats and then do some band work while I'm resting my legs. Now, with these exercises, especially for a rehab purpose, you want to go light, you want to move slowly and smoothly, and even add a little bit of isometric holding if you feel some type of tension. So the first one I'm going to do is external rotation. I'm going to tuck my elbow in and I'm going to go out and then control in. Again, I don't want a lot of resistance. I'm holding with isometric tension and being smooth on the way back. You want to go high reps, one set of 15 to 20 because we want to build up endurance in the arm. Now, this might seem like a rotator cuff one, but we are rotating that bicep as well and the humerus, which will have the bicep work and moving the tendon around as well. Internal rotation, a little bit easier, same thing. I want to tuck in, hold for a half second, out, and just be smooth. Another one I like is overhead flexion. So with biceps tendonitis, things overhead usually become a little bit of an issue. So I'm going to go overhead. I'm going to put my hand on my rib cage so I know I'm not lifting my rib cage to fake flexibility. And I'm going to just go overhead and then back. This is the important thing, the back. I want to be smooth. I want to pull my rib cage down, get a little stretch, and then work through those. If I feel a little pain point or discomfort, I want to work through that. I don't want to blast through it or stop it. I want to try to work through it without adding additional pain. As you get better, one of my favorites is the clock. So I just did 12. I'm going to go 11, 10, 9, and then just work my way down. 8, 7, 6. Well, 6 is down here. 7 and 6. And then work my way back up. And then, of course, I would do the other side. Chest flies are a great one. Now, the reason why I like chest flies is because I get a little bit of a stretch. We talked about posture earlier, and forward posture is usually tight pecs. So we want to open up the pecs. So I'll have one foot in front of the other, shoulders down, W arms, and I'm going to squeeze and then control back, getting that stretch. So I get that little stretch in that shoulder area just when I feel a slight discomfort, and then I'm gonna work through that, trying to be as smooth as I can, seeing if the shoulders feel different from one another. Working through there. Also works on your flexing muscles. Down below, I have a band, and we're gonna do some front raises. So it's not quite overhead, but we're gonna work deceleration a lot with this one. So palm back, shoulder down. You can put hand on rib cage so you don't lift up. But what I'm gonna do is lift up a little bit past parallel. Now I'm gonna hold for a half second and then smooth on the way down. I also wanna see when I look for my clients to see if there's any shrugging when they lift. That's compensation because your biceps tendon hurt. If you're shrugging to lift up, we're not doing it well. We gotta back off on the weight and then pull your shoulder blade down in your back pocket and move smoothly. So again, you can do both sides there, and that's a great one to do in between sets or even as a warm-up. Again, another type of band that I really like, and it's been used in plenty of videos, are these mini bands. We're gonna do a pull apart. So classic, wrist straight, shoulders down, and I'm just gonna squeeze my shoulder blades. I don't think about pulling the band, I think about pulling my shoulders together. That makes me move a little bit slower, get right to that point where I feel a little bit of strain, and then I come back. So I'm not pulling, leveraging, shoulders down, squeezing together, and then controlling back. Little reset. The slower you go, the harder these are. So that's a great one, little high rep. You can do those between your bench presses or your squats. The second one I do, you can do a little external rotation, double it up. So if this one takes too long, this one's great. So elbows in, and I'm just gonna pull out and hold, and then back in. Pull, hold, back in, pull, hold. Lastly, I'm just gonna do a little bit of extension. So I'm gonna use this for leverage. Now we talked about having posture, so I wanna push this back and down, and this is gonna help that. And I'm gonna come up and extend, squeezing my shoulder blades together and back. So I'm really focusing, especially if I have a shoulder that's a little more cranky, I'm gonna focus 60% on that one and trying to extend the best I can there. Shoulders down, chest up, glutes tight, and then control in. So those are the band ones that I like to be used even as a warm-up or in between exercises. You can do all of them, you can do a few of them, or do the ones that you find work the best. But do them, because if you don't, you'll probably get tendinitis down the road if you're doing a lot of work. And if you do these, you'll have less of a chance of getting biceps tendinitis. So let's move on to a little bit more strength stuff. Okay, so we're gonna get into the strength portion. Now I'm not gonna go over the basic ones like rowing or body rows, even pull-ups. If pull-ups don't bother you, they might bother you, especially a chin-up. You can do them if they don't bother you, but I keep the volume low. I recommend a lot of back work. Again, if we talk about posture, forward stuff, push-ups, dumbbell chest press, bench press, we wanna do more back work to open it up, let the humerus, the upper arm, open up and let that tendon relax a little bit. Now, if you have severe issue with this, I would focus on a 2-to-1 ratio of back exercises versus front or pressing exercises. So I'm not gonna go over those, but sprinkle those in. I'm gonna show some specific ones, and I like dumbbell front and side raises. The reason why I like this is because we can change angles in a lot of different ways and really pinpoint what works and what is a little bit more challenging. So keep my glutes tight, tuck my tailbone. So we got the basic palm down to parallel. And again, I'm not leveraging the bells. I can go out to the side like at a 45. I can go out to the side at a 90, and then I felt a little hitch there. So I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna go a little slower and down. And I'm trying not to use leverage at all. I can go palm inward, thumb up. I can go out like a Y, even parallel and out. So anything is fair game. I can even do empty can, which I probably won't get as high because obviously the shoulder's gonna get jammed up in there, but empty can. So I wanna try to find ways where I feel a little resistance but not pain and work through those. Change angles as much as you want, go light. I like an isometric hold at the top and down. Lastly, make sure not 1 and then 2, it's even. So I like to focus a little bit more on the side that's a little weaker. Next, we're gonna do one, I just call it like side flexion. I'm gonna go palm up. This is a little more advanced, but you should be able to do this. I'm gonna bring the weights overhead nice and smoothly. Touch, and then I'm gonna come down nice and smoothly. You can even go a little bit behind your back at the end. Up, feel the resistance points, and then sweep through. So that's a tough one, but it's a great one to do. Going slow, we'll see how smooth you move and to see if you compensate. So if you get to this point where you're here and then all of a sudden get stuck and you have to kind of shimmy around it, we want to try to, as long as there's nothing majorly wrong in there, we want to try to work through that and see if we can get smooth with it. Lastly, we're gonna do a little rotation. We do this in my elbow, my golfer and my tennis elbow one. If you haven't seen it, I'll put it up here. But rotation, you can take a club or a dumbbell. If you want to do it the initial way, you can support your forearm, and we're going to rotate this way and this way. So we're going to supinate and pronate. This is good for the distal portion, kind of in that elbow, but also my bicep is working because my bicep actually helps do these rotational movements and it's moving that tendon around, and we want to be strong with this. Good for throwing athletes that have a little bit of shoulder pain and a little bit of elbow pain even. We want to work through those. You can also do it standing. You can take one. You just have to be really strict without moving anything and over. So right here, I'm feeling a little resistance, so I'm going to stop. And I don't want to get here where I feel resistance and have to dump it by lifting my shoulder. So I want to really isolate, hold. Right there, hold, and back. So rotations are a great way to strengthen the elbows and the shoulder. Let's get into some stretches. Lastly, just a few stretches. You guys probably know a lot of these. We just want to open things up again. So we can grab something here, and we're just going to do a shoulder extension. This is even a pec opener. So shoulder down, I want to roll down, and then I want to subtly turn and open up, and then control back. If you have a squat rack or a cage, that works really well for that. You can grab a little bit lower. I don't have something lower, but I'll grab here, let's say, and then I want to go shoulder down and extend. You can even go on the floor. So when I'm here, you can do a little flash dance move where I'm bringing my fingertips back and I'm lifting my chest and then collapsing. I can even, if I'm a little bit better, just lift my hips a little bit, open up the chest, open up my shoulders, and then get a little stretch with a little hold, and then back. Also, I recommend stretching out the wrist, especially the extensors. Flexors bring the wrist in. We're like this all day long. That tightens these up, shortens up the bicep, shortens up here. We want to work the extensors to help relax everything. So you can have them on a table, you can have them on the floor. Fingertips back is kind of the way we want them, but if your wrists do not get flat, I would recommend opening them up. And you can just stretch back and forth. You can do little circles. As you get better, you bring your fingertips more back and your elbows forward. And we're just going to rock back and forth. I like to do circles because when I feel circles, I feel a little resistance and I kind of just slowly work through it. And I want to also think about keeping my hands down the whole time. So I'd recommend that after your workout, just a little bit of stretch, or after a big day, if you're on the computer or making videos like I am forward, just stretching those out at night will help go a long way. Keep your elbow happy, keep your biceps tendon happy here, keep your biceps tendon happy there. I want to thank you for watching. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. Also consider subscribing. I try to put a new video out every week. If you have a topic for me, put it down below as well. I want to help you guys out and just do the best we can all together so we're lifting longer, being safe, strong, and happy. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.